G'day, I'm Melissa Shannon, founder of digitalscrapbookinghq.com, and today's an exciting day for us Photoshop Elements users. It's a release day for Photoshop Elements 2020. If you'd like to learn about the new features and whether I think you should upgrade, keep watching. And don't forget to leave a comment and like this video if you've enjoyed it.
G'day, I'm Melissa Shannon, founder of digitalscrapbookinghq.com, and I'm here in the brand new Photoshop Elements 2020 to take a look around and show you what's new. We're here on the home screen of Photoshop Elements. That's what happens when you first open the program, and we're prompted to share the most recent version we've used. And it will actually customize these cards at the top depending on what options we choose for our last used version. So I'm going to choose 2019. So you can see up the top here, we've got all the different suggestions for trying something new and learning more about Elements. So the first thing we're going to do is pop into the photo editor. If you've been around DigiScrap HQ for a while, you'll know I love the Photoshop Elements organizer and the photo editor, and I use it on a daily basis. As usual, we can have a 30-day trial for the software, which it's fully functional in those 30 days. It just gives you 30 days to try it out and see if you want to purchase it. So here we are in the Photoshop Elements editor. This is where you edit your photographs. We have several modes. We have the quick mode, the guided mode, and the expert mode. To create my digital scrapbook pages, I usually work in the expert mode, but for editing photos, there's a lot you can do in both the quick and the guided edits. The first thing I want to show you today is a brand new feature in Photoshop Elements. In quick or edit mode, head to the Enhance menu and click Colorize Photo. Now Photoshop Elements will work its magic with the Sensei engine, and it will create a few options to colorize this photograph. Browse through the options you're given and choose the one that looks best with your photo. Then you can use the manual editor to select areas that need colorizing that may have been missed. Add the droplet tool, and then choose a color that you want it to be. You could also choose the eyedropper tool and use that to select a color nearby so that it blends in. You can hide the droplet to see how it looks. And you can toggle between before and after. You can even reset the whole process and start again. In this case, our bride has some flowers, and I'd probably choose to make all of these darker areas green. So again, I'll just use the quick selection tool to select most of the area. Then I'll add a droplet tool and choose the best green I can find. And we'll turn off the droplets. You can see we've added a bit of a green tint to the foliage in the bouquet. When you're happy with it, click OK. And you'll be taken to the quick or expert mode. In expert mode, click on the layers button to show your layers, and you can see that the original photo is behind the colorized layer. You can continue editing the photo yourself, but you've got a great head start with the new Enhance Colorize Photo feature. Another new tool added directly inside the editor of quick or expert mode is the Enhance Smooth Skin tool. For someone who suffered with acne as a teenager and really until now, this kind of tool makes my day. The Smooth Skin dialog allows you to increase the smoothness of your skin to reduce either wrinkles or acne or both. You can go pretty smooth with this tool. I'm going to dial it back a bit just so that the acne doesn't look too angry. You can see before and after. It does look a bit better. And while I'm here, I'm going to use the red eye tool to fix those red eyes. If the smooth skins tool hasn't quite achieved the look you want, you can of course revert back to our good old friend, the spot healing tool. In this case, it literally is healing spots. I don't like to go too hard with the skin smoothing because I naturally have freckles and a couple of moles on my face, so if I smooth everything, I won't look like myself. But if you have an acne sufferer or have a few extra wrinkles that you'd rather not be blown up onto a canvas for the wall, you might find that Enhance Smooth Skin is just what you need. It's very easy to use and a great tool to be added in Photoshop Elements 2020. Have you ever wanted to extract a person or object from your photos, but it just takes such a long time to get the selection perfect? I know that the automatic selection tools and the refined selection tools have made things a lot easier in Photoshop Elements, but there's a brand new tool that will add to your arsenal of selection tools. On the Select menu, you can go to Select and then Subject, and the Adobe Sensei engine will find and select your main subject for you. You can see it's done this pretty well with me, but you might say, well, that's easy enough. There's nothing really behind you. You're on a plain background. Sure, it's come up with a great selection there. But what if we give it a bit more of a challenge? What about this photo where we've got light and dark backgrounds? How does it go? Select subject. Pretty great. I can see the selection here. I just created a new layer with the selection by pressing Ctrl J. Sure, it's got the table in here, but I get, it's hard for it to know whether that's part of it, the main subject or not. But I'm pretty happy with that, especially that it managed to capture his little curl sticking up. But what about something where the subject has less defined edges? Here we have a ballerina. At first glance, you might think this is easy because, again, she's on a pretty plain background. But have a look at that tulle skirt. How will Photoshop Elements handle that? Select subject. We will just do the same thing. Jump the selection to a new layer and turn off that background layer. And you can see it's done pretty well. Again, the gaps between the legs it hasn't selected and this spot here. And it's just cut off a little bit of the tutu. But it's such a great start. Just using this quick command, we've got the basis of our selection done. And we can always go through manually and add the selection or refine the selection a bit. Isn't that amazing? That kind of selection would usually take me so much longer. Each year, Photoshop Elements releases some brand new guided edits. Under the fun edits, there's the brand new pattern brush. So you can add that look somewhat like Snapchat or Instagram stories to your photo. For guided edits, the instructions for how to create the look are on the right and it walks you through the process. There's several patterns to choose from. We're going to select this little starry pattern and we'll choose Protect Subject. And I'll paint the sparkles on in a bit of a swirl. And you can use the pattern eraser to, fix any spots that aren't quite perfect. And you can always add in more and toggle between the different modes. Now you can optionally blur the background, but I'd like to keep it just a little bit blurred in our case. You can precisely add or remove blur. if your selection of the subject wasn't quite perfect, for example, then you could go around and paint where the blur should be, or subtract it from where it shouldn't be. Now you can see the before and after horizontally. It's a fun effect. We'll save it as a PSD as usual so that we can come back and edit it later and continue editing in expert mode, or you can edit in quick mode. Have you ever taken a photo of someone and thought it just needs a bit of help? That's where the guided edit Perfect Portrait can come in handy. Under the special edits, Perfect Portrait will help you make common edits that you might want to make in a portrait photo. Let's start and work our way through the process. Smooth skin. And this smooth skin tool is based on the same engine that is used for the enhanced smooth skin. We can reduce that a little bit. We don't want it too smooth there. Let's increase the contrast. Oh yes, I can see there's a little difference there. Of course, you can always undo or redo as you go through the process. Then we're going to zoom in and remove some blemishes with the tool here. For me, it's not necessarily blemishes that I want to remove. It's more that I don't love my skin being super shiny. So I'm just going to maybe reduce that a little bit. And on the nose there. Now we can whiten our teeth here. Just using the auto selection tool to click over the teeth. I don't want to make the gums whiter, so let's zoom in a bit and get that a little bit more precise. Go. There's the teeth. Those pearly whites shining. Now, brighten eyes. Let's click on the eyes here. And darken eyebrows. Well, with the fashion these days, I definitely could do with some more dark eyebrows. Would you believe, of course I did my eyebrows for this photo, but you can't even see they exist really on that right side. Maybe I should just zoom out and see. Ooh, yes, that's a bit too much. Undo. This is one of those edits that you should probably make seeing the whole image, not zoomed in too closely. Let's try that again. We'll zoom in a bit, but not too much this time, and darken our eyebrows again. Just one little stroke across is probably enough, I would suggest. Does that look natural? I don't know. You be the judge. Tell me in the comments below. And then we can add a glow to our portrait if we really want that glamour photography look. You can, of course, reduce it and increase the clarity or the clear amount. You can add some graininess or reduce the graininess. And click OK. I don't know that I love the glow look, but you know, let's try out the feature to its full effect. And now we've got slim down. How many clicks of this can we do before I start to look odd? Oh, I reckon that might be it. That's 3. Let's undo. As you undo, you really notice the difference. So maybe we'll just go for 2. Let's click next. And we can see our before and after by changing the view. You can see it has made quite a difference. How do you like it? Do you think that Perfect Portrait editing is a good tool? Or would you prefer to stick with the reality, which is a little bit more wrinkly and less glowy? You can save your work as a Photoshop document and then That will allow you to continue editing in the future. You can see when we load into expert mode that the pearly whites is its own layer, and I'd probably turn that off. You can see the original and the edited version. I have to say I really liked the effect of reducing the shininess of my skin with that spot healing brush tool. But some of the features I probably wouldn't use unless I was really going for that glamorous photo session look. For an everyday photo, you might still use the brighten the eyes and smooth the skin and a couple of spot healing tools. Or what do we call this? Spot healing brush tool dabs here and there. But this is a great new addition, especially for those who might not be experienced in photo retouching. It really makes it accessible with the guided edit. Something that people often want to do is remove objects from the background or foreground of their photos. And with the new guided edit in Photoshop Elements 2020, it's easier than ever. Just head to the Guided Edit tab with your photo open and choose Basics and then Object Removal. Once again, for the guided edits, the steps are in the right-hand panel and you can just do some quick selections to select the items that are in your photo that you'd like to remove. If it gets too carried away, hold down the Alt button to remove things from the selection. You can also use the Auto tool to just draw a box around your selection rather than having to be so detailed. Now, let's click Remove Object. Now, if the results aren't perfect, you can do the Spot Healing Brush tool and just dab on some extra healing. Or if you have a whole spot that's not quite right, you can press Alt to clone stamp part of the sky to where it should continue on. And I can even use this to fill in a bit of sand hill. Then, as usual, you can save your work for future editing and continue your editing in expert or quick mode. And as usual, the original photo is hiding in the background. Let's head back to the welcome screen and check out Photoshop Elements Organizer. Photoshop Elements Organizer makes it easy to organize your photo because Organizer does a lot of the work recognizing faces, objects, and places in your photos. Let's check out the new features. When you first open Photoshop Elements Organizer, you'll be greeted with this screen, which explains some of the features in Organizer. You can read these tips to get an idea of how Organizer works, and then you can start importing your photographs. If you already use Photoshop Elements Organizer, you'll be prompted to convert your old catalogs. You won't need to re-import your photos or do any tagging. So Photoshop Elements Organizer is pretty good at finding photo folders on your computer. If you use OneDrive, Dropbox, or your standard Photos folder on your Mac or PC, those will come up automatically. But you can choose to add folders manually. Once it has completed searching for files here, you can go ahead and import. Today, I'm going to be walking you through some of the new features. So I'm going to use a photo catalog that I've already set up. Within the People tab, the operation is so much quicker than it has been. When you go ahead and add names, you'll find the process works much more smoothly. And suggestions will pop up as soon as you've started adding people. You can see, as usual, you'll have a little exclamation point when there's more faces to be added. And you can go ahead and select them all and add them. It's so much faster than it used to be. On some systems, people found that their computer was extremely slow to run the people view. The development team at Photoshop Elements have worked hard on improving the usability of the people feature. And I have to admit, it is faster than ever. I've been using Photoshop Elements for over 10 years now, and every version you see some performance improvements and some features added. This year, one of the features is the ability to use face recognition and smart tagging within videos. If you're a video editor or you just want to be able to find videos, this will be perfect for you. Let's choose the smart tag of beach and see what comes up. You can already see, when I go back to the grid, that I've got a variety of different formats, some videos and some photos that have been automatically tagged as beach. If we head to the tags panel and then click my name, you'll see that it has already recognized me in dozens of videos. This will be really handy for if you're looking for a video of a specific person. You can just press Control 1 and all the videos of Emily will appear. And when you open the video, it takes you directly to the frame that person is contained in. Another great feature in Photoshop Elements 2020 is that it fully supports high efficiency image and high efficiency video coding files that are the default format in recent iPhone models. So you won't have to worry about converting those photos to JPEGs or those videos to MP4s. In Photoshop Elements Organizer, performance has really improved, and for someone like me who uses over 100,000 images in any given catalogue, it makes my life so much easier.
So now's the moment of truth. Should you upgrade? Well, I recommend upgrading if you have a version of Photoshop Elements that doesn't have a year in it. So if you're using Photoshop Elements 13, 14 or 15 or anything earlier, it's probably time to upgrade. If you use the organizer and you find face recognition is clunky or slow on your machine, it's time to upgrade. If you love editing your photos but are always getting stuck on clearing up portraits or extractions, then it's time for you to upgrade. But if you're happy with your version of Photoshop Elements, there's no harm in hanging around and waiting to see what next year's release brings. The release schedule for Adobe Photoshop Elements is pretty regular and reliable. And one other thing I did want to mention is Photoshop Elements is a one-off purchase. You don't have to subscribe and you certainly don't have to upgrade each year. Once you've paid for the software, you can use it for many years to come. I hope this review has helped you make your decision about whether you're upgrading this year. Let me know in the comments below, and if I've helped you with this video, you can give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you'd like to learn more about digital scrapbooking or Photoshop Elements, head to digitalscrapbookinghq.com.